Addiction. What really is it? Why do people experience it? And how does one overcome it? Well, it may interest you to know that at the root of it all, there is actually only one addiction: the addiction to stimulation. Stimulation is something that gives you a sensory or hormonal high. You will be very well aware of the more obvious methods of stimulation, with alcohol, drugs, smoking, sex, and electronics, such as watching TV, scrolling through social media, or gaming. But in truth, most things that people do are for stimulation. Things such as eating food, exercising, achieving goals, activities that induce an adrenaline rush, asserting dominance over someone in some way, arguing, complaining, and bitching, even things like fireworks, etc. In between all that, your ego is creating internal stimulation all the time with the thoughts it induces within your mind and the emotions those thoughts trigger, and subconsciously, you actually enjoy all this stimulation and drama. This is all so that one can experience some kind of high. One pursues stimulation for two reasons. The first reason is to escape what you would feel without any stimulation. Without stimulation, you may feel bored, grief, depressed, angry, stressed, guilty, lonely, unloved, or even just nothingness, and you don't want to feel those things, so you look for something to give you a high so you can no longer feel what you are feeling, or so that you can at least feel something rather than nothing. The second reason is so that you can feel a sense of control. When you can do something to get an instant high, it is a way of proving to yourself that you have some sort of power over how you feel. But, of course, this power and escape is illusory, temporary, and very surface level, as whenever that high fades, you end up feeling not only what you were feeling before, but you also end up feeling the low that follows the high. And you may then look to the next thing to give you a high, and then the next thing, and so on. And so, everyone ends up living their life moving from one form of stimulation to the next, chasing highs. You might even say that stimulation ends up having power over you rather than you having any power. 99% of human beings live this way. This addiction to stimulation is extremely subtle, yet incredibly common. But there eventually comes a point where you are done chasing the highs. You may have tried everything to give you stimulation, and while it worked for a while, you become more and more numb to each form of stimulation. You realize how this stimulation is not true joy, and you end up wanting to pursue a joy that is not just surface level or temporary, but is deeper and is more permanent. And so you decide to gradually let go of what used to stimulate you, and you decide to actually feel what you were previously trying to escape. What follows is a long period of actually processing emotions, letting go of beliefs, detaching from thoughts, no longer doing activities that you realize don't actually trigger joy within you, and you start to really value the peace of the silence, stillness, and nothingness beyond all the highs, lows, and noise. It is not that you then become someone who is completely still and silent forever. Within you, yes, you will feel an infinite silence and stillness, but out of this stillness and silence springs forth a new kind of life. You may even continue doing some of the same activities you were doing before, but you let go of the desire for stimulation that was behind your actions, and you do those things for entertainment and joy instead. The same action or experience can be done for stimulation, or it can be done for the joy of its entertainment. For instance, you may have listened to music before because it helped you feel some sort of high. Perhaps listening to certain music helps you feel cool or might trigger some emotions within you. But after letting go of stimulation, you may continue listening to music, but you may find your music taste changes, and you will enjoy listening to music for different reasons. You may now enjoy music with lyrics that resonate with you in your journey, or you start to really appreciate the instruments within the music, or the creativity of the song, or you feel it easily moves your body into dance. After letting go of stimulation, you will continue eating food, but not for the high of feeling stuffed, but to savor the taste and textures and smells, and you will eat just enough to no longer feel hunger. Something deep within you enjoys the entertainment of every experience and every moment, and it is this that is what you are truly looking for. But this true joy is difficult to really feel until you let go of stimulation. Stimulation is an inadequate substitute for true joy. True joy is not a surface level high, but it is your natural, gentle state which you can experience at all times. There will even come a point on your journey where you will realize that healing and deep breathing are forms of spiritual stimulation. There is a high you feel when you heal something within yourself and when you breathe very deeply. These things serve you greatly for your healing and awakening journey, but there will come a time at the end of that journey where you will feel like even releasing them. It is at that point that life becomes completely about experiencing the true joy of every experience. To learn more about how to find true joy beyond surface level stimulation, we recommend you to read our book called In-Joy-ment, a link to which is in the description below.